Hey,
Mr.
Rudolph.
Mr. Brick, what?
You were like,
Mr. Ed?
Sure.
Wilbur. I don't know. I don't know what that was. I was just hitting things and was ready to start the show. Welcome, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, to C and B Live Unfiltered. I like it when they had the live audience and I didn't have to hit the button.
They wouldn't be able to hear us anyways.
It's true. Well, yeah, because speakers are a thing. Welcome into this Wednesday for ZNB Live, ZNB Live over on YouTube every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Thank you to all of our live viewers that show up. Please do the things, do all the YouTubey things. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave your comments, do all the stuff. Share the link out. I know you've all got social media out there. Get the link, share it out, and say, hey, if you don't come watch this, we're going to come steal your children.
That is not what's going to happen. I promise you, I have no involvement in that in any capacity. What will happen is you're going to be supporting two individuals, not partners, together with a weekly show that is quality and appreciated by at least a subsection of the Lego community online. That's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen.
I'd like to adjust that statement and use air quotes when he says quality.
Quality compared to like a lot of other stuff out there, for sure.
That's true. That is very true. But yes, we are live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern over here on YouTube. And then you can find us later on all the podcast channels like Apple Podcasts and Spotify. So you could also be a pretty amazing human and subscribe to us over there and maybe give us a listen and leave a comment. And I hear reviews are a big thing on podcast channels. So if you want to go ahead and take the time to leave a review, you'll be my new best friend. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, we do have some breaking news. Should I hit the breaking news button?
Sure, why not?
We have a breaking news button. I'm going to hit this. It's got a cool graphic. It's got fun music.
I can't hear the fun music, but I'm assuming it's very fun and very loud.
Apparently, Bricks O'Brien can't hear the fun music, but it's fine. It's fine. It always hits everything it should, other than Mr. Bricks O'Brien's ears. But we do have some breaking news today. Lego finally officially announced the worst kept secret in the Technic community. The McLaren P1 is now announced, and I am just now starting to get into the Technic world, and I have enjoyed what I've done so far in the Technic world. And when I mean Technic world, I mean like actual Technic, not the system builds that include a lot of Technic. Technic is one of the coolest things that Lego ever did. It really is, because it's helped develop so many sets over the years in the system side of builds, not just the Technic side of builds. And the McLaren P1 with, I can only see the images that I'm seeing on the website, but it looks really, really nice. It has the lines that a McLaren is a very, very sleek looking car, has really, neat opening doors on it. Has a very distinctive style hood to it. I have tried to sit in one of these P1s, and I got in and could not get back out because old men like me do not belong in cars like that. But I'm not a big fan. It's an orange type color. I'm not a big fan of the color. I would prefer more of a like a darker green, probably, is I've seen a lot of those McLarens, and I've seen those a lot in carbon fiber, and I would like, that's the one thing that you don't like. The whole body of a McLaren P is like carbon fiber. Like that's the one thing you don't really get from it is on the Technic set like that. But that's the car guy in me, right? Like I'm just kind of looking at it going, but don't get me wrong, still a beautiful set. I wasn't seeing a lot of stickers on this, which I know can sometimes be a Technic thing. It looked like they had a lot of printed pieces, which is like what we got with the last supercar thing that they did with the Ferrari of that scale. And I like that. Hopefully that's a trend that continues for all the Technic builders out there. I don't think you're a Technic guy. I don't see this being a day one purchase for you at all. But prove me wrong, Mr. Bricks O'Brien.
Oh, you were talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't care at all. Not even a little bit. There's not a single cell within my body that is gravitating toward this box, this news, any words you just said, in any capacity whatsoever. Another big car to spend a lot of money on. Have fun with that one.
There you go.
Literally.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a lot of that. The commentary today, I feel like, is going to, I teased this yesterday. I feel like the commentary today is going to be a lot of Mr. Bricks O'Brien going, oh, I don't care at all.
And you know what? It's, would you rather I be dishonest with you and say, oh, I really love those curvatures of the body of that McLaren and I'm not. That's not what I do. That's not how this operates, man. You get the live and unfiltered opinions here, man. That's what all of this is.
And I'll have our chat correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a Speed Champion version of this P1, I believe, in the same kind of color. So it feels like they're just making the bigger version of that. And yeah, I mean the images that I've seen online of the engine system and everything, I mean, it looks dope. Like, it looks really cool. And I had a blast with that Ferrari Daytona. Like, I really did, as my first Technic build. That was a blast of a Technic set. And eventually I would like to do more at that size, that scale. But this one's going to be one that'll probably be around hopefully for a while and give me plenty of opportunity to get my hands on it. You know what set that Mr. Bricks O'Brien is excited for? That is so ecstatic, that cannot hold his enthusiasm, that has been foaming at the mouth, ready to talk about for weeks, is the new message board set that that Lego officially put on their website to go along with the Build Together line that they are really trying to push. Valued at $99.99, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, please tell me that this is a day one purchase that you're going to be building live on Twitch for all of your viewers.
A resounding no. Resounding no. This hones in live, laugh, love energy if I've ever seen it. Obviously. Our family, love, fun, home at our, all of these different ways you can rearrange these letters. The only way I could see this being appealing is if there were different colors for each of the letters, and you could customize the color of the overall sign. But it being in all white is definitely for like a certain aesthetic and a certain type of family to have it and whatever. So I don't care. Obviously, this is like, you want Lego to be part of your home, but not part of your home in a similar way to the botanicals. It's like, oh, those are Legos, which, this is what, the work from home parent would have in the background of their office display as they go on a Zoom call for their soulless corporate job, that, if somebody noticed in the background, would be made entirely out of Lego, but most people will not care, and you're still going to get fired from that work from home job anyways because you were too busy watching Days of Our Lives and folding laundry during the workday. So none of this is relevant to me at all. I think it's going to sell unbelievably poorly because this isn't what Lego is really like. I don't know. It just doesn't target. Who is this for? Who is it really for? Is it for that working professional? Is it for I
don't know who anything this is for. I honestly
anything
don't know.
remotely close to a sign like this you're going to buy for your home, you're going to get at Home Goods for $20 and not build out of Lego for $100. And anybody that wants a sign like this where they could literally make like at Bricks O'Brien or at Zach M. Rutledge to have in their background, cool idea. I don't want it in white. I want it in like different colors and setup, and this is only in white. So
well, that's the thing, right? You're talking about like, okay, I could maybe see, creating a phrase or something out of it, like a smaller or whatever, but you are being forced to pay for all of the extra pieces that you're not going to use to make said phrase, right? Because they're going to give you enough to use a certain amount of characters, right? Like I think without the set being released and without being able to dive into it, we don't really know exactly how it's going to work. I'm assuming that the electronic app that you're gonna have to use the app. You're not gonna have an instruction booklet for this to build all the letters. I don't believe. I think you're gonna have to use the app, and so you're gonna say, okay, I need an O. This is how you make all your O's. I need a U. This is how you're gonna make all your U's. This is an R. This is how you make your R's. But you're going to have so many extra pieces left over and you're still paying for those. So they're just going to go in a bin somewhere unless you're already a mock builder or something like that. And if you are, you're already making signs like this in the colors that you want in the sets. So I don't know who this is for because of that, because the mock builders out there are going to go buy in bulk and they're going to buy what they need and create what they want with it. And that's basically what this is a way to introduce maybe the idea and a flat art style of mock building, maybe, kind of. But all of the examples that they keep showing us, I keep looking at it going, that is like I don't want a Scrabble looking set in my background, like, and then have people try to decipher what the heck it says or whatever, like whatever, like on my mantle, like, come on. There are better Lego sets to put on display in your home for $100 than this, and I'm perplexed by a decision to even put out a set like this
at high of a price point too. If it were half the cost and you could more easily build upon it, like I think you'd be more likely to sell them at $50, and then if somebody wants two, they can make it at $100, right? Buy two of them. You could even put it, market it a little bit towards social media people. You have some different colors for the outside of the border. You make the letters white, like whatever they're using for the inside there, the tiles, and you sell it like a social media handle sort of indicator or phrase it. Like it would look really cool if I could have the letters in all white themselves with a black border. You put like at Bricks O'Brien. Like that seems cool. And there's enough people that are on social media that want to feel like they're having, their brand represented in Lego and whatever. And admittedly, it's a really nice way to convey the letters where there's so many different Lego fonts that you can establish at different scales. So it's a good scale. It's a good font. They're giving you good pieces for it. But yeah, it's just not practical for anybody that's going to actually fork over $100 for it as a cohesive set.
No,
not at all.
No, and I'm sorry. I know my kid isn't like into Lego as much as I hoped he would be, but I have a nephew who's extremely absorbed in Lego. There ain't no way he's sitting down and building this with me. No way. No. And that's what I keep going back to. Who is this for? I'm sorry, you're not gonna get a kid to sit down and build this unless you pay him like the models they're using in their photography here. Like it's not a thing. And the internet already, Etsy is full of listings for this kind of stuff already that you can have them like customize your set for you for $20. Yep. Like a flat art style that you can go out, you can get your own state, built bricked out or whatever, right? Like your own phrase, you can get, the at Bricks O'Brien, like you can get that stuff done already on arts and crafting websites out there for a fraction of the cost, and you don't have to sit there and do it if you don't want to, or like you said, it's a home goods thing. It's just this thing is perplexing. And it goes along with the set that they've like it's out there. A German website put it out on their site. They've gotten the information. They've gotten the photography from it already from Lego. It's not on the Lego website as of today, But there's another one they're going to be releasing along with it, the Family Travel Moments, which is again that same Art Deco style, build together style. Um, and it's a miniature version of the world map in a way, because you can hang it on the wall. But the idea here is that you can add markers with pins or display things for your photography. So you can take a photo, and it was like, oh, we traveled to, in the States, we traveled to Disney World. We can put a little marker down there in Orlando or in the Florida region on the map and put a family photo of Disney World. Or, hey, we went over to Europe and we did this. We went to Paris and we saw the Eiffel Tower. Here's a picture of us in front of the Eiffel Tower, whatever. And you can put these little markers down. Once again, for the price that you're getting for the small amount, like, I don't know who's buying this set. I think both of these sets would have been cool as VIP point type of things, and especially the Family Travel Moments. You make that a VIP point, 2,700 whatever VIP point thing, and people can add it to their current world map set as an expansion pack for it, where you can now add markers that designate on a much larger scale where you are, where it's more easy to determine those markers and be able to put your pictures up. That's how you utilize a set like that. You put a Family Travel Moments expansion pack with the world map, and you're adding your markers all over that, as opposed to another smaller version of that set that you now have to put up on the wall. You can also lay it flat on a table, man. Nobody gonna do that. So I don't know. They're both of these sets, and by the way, let's go ahead and throw them into the already overloaded August 4th time frame here of Lego releases.
Right.
Like, they're trying to bury this. They're not, they don't care. They
never have cared. Come on.
This is they owed a designer a favor, and they got it done. They got it out there, and they're trying to bury this thing. There's no reason. This could have come out in July here when there wasn't a whole lot else going on, right? But instead, they're burying both of these sets in the middle of an overloaded August. And you see this with film. You see this with film releases, right? When a studio doesn't believe in their product, they bury it amidst a ton of other amazing releases. They'll throw spin on it and say it's alternate programming, right? Like it's the people that don't want to go see Deadpool and Wolverine. We're going to give them an alternative thing. No, they're trying to bury it because they don't want. They're just like, we got to get it out. We owe the release. We need to do it. And then they can, once they bury it amongst other stuff, they can go back to the filmmaker and go, well, see, we tried, and that's what this is. It's going to be buried and gone, and nobody's going to care. What people will care about, though, is proof that Lego is once again more valuable than gold.
True. Very true.
We're seeing a trend right now where Lego theft and reselling of said theft is becoming a thing. And this past week on July 3rd in Oregon, a major sting operation, which is crazy to think. Lego sting operation, whatever. It's crazy to think about. But the local authorities, local crime unit, a newly formed crime unit actually in Oregon, got together with major big box stores investigators and coordinated a big sting operation because they were seeing an uptick in Lego theft amongst big box stores like Target and Walmart and otherwise, right? Well, what was happening is these sets were then being taken immediately to a secondhand Lego store and sold to them for a low cost, and then that retailer was then turning around and selling it to the public. Now, I don't know what the cost associated with those sets were. I'm assuming they were probably making them lower than market value or lower than what a retail store was, because these were all retail sets. just so they could get rid of them. The kicker is that the retail store, or I'm sorry, the secondhand Lego store knew that these sets were stolen out of the
Oh,
gate.
see, that's the big problem.
That's the big problem. They knew what they were buying. And
yeah, man. That
and yet
dude,
they were
way
doing
to
it
take your
anyway.
business, dude.
Yeah.
Come
so
on.
this and there are other rumblings out there about kind of stuff like this potentially happening. And there's, Lego theft is becoming a more rampant problem. And we've seen it with things. I mean, we've even seen it with things like the which I still consider that, even though they're not taking the sets or taking the things, but I've seen it with things like the CMF lines that Lego puts out, right? These collectible minifigs where people are walking into stores and ripping open the boxes to check out what's inside. People have this really strange, feeling of entitlement that they are allowed to do that with these sets. And luckily, amazing websites have been out there where they are now offering up QR code scanners and things to help you with that. But you're starting to see now more and more Lego sets being just strapped down with those giant sensor blocks on them, and more Lego sets behind glass, or behind some kind of locked cabinet or something like that. And man, that sucks. That sucks for the kids. That sucks for. I mean, there was something fun about going into a store as a kid and grabbing that Lego set and looking at it and looking at the back art and looking at the box art and all this stuff and being able to like touch it, right? And now it looks like, it's part of an armory. Like, it looks like you're walking into the drugstore part where things are the most expensive or the most dangerous, drugs are behind the counter and you can't get to them. Like you're losing that sense of wonder as a kid. It looks like it's forbidden almost, right? When you're going in and you're seeing these things, tied down. Don't get me, I mean, look, Lego's already got a small problem here in the States with their new box art issues because of somebody, I guess, swallowing batteries, or I'm not sure what's going on there, and having to plaster the giant warning labels across all their box art and everything. It already is looking like the Lego itself is almost dangerous, right? Because of legal reasons. But then you have that giant warning label, and now you're putting these giant sensors attached to them and everything, man. It looks rough. It's a bad image for Lego and what resellers or what sellers are having to do for them. But this is again the second time in 2 months, June and July. Another thing happened in June in California, where people had stolen thousands of dollars of Lego sets and were selling them out of their home on places like Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that. And I don't know if there's a way to combat this at this point for Lego. I think we're just kind of in that world. We're just kind of living in that world now because of the value people have attached to Lego.
It's the value that people have attached to Lego, but also the value that Lego has attached to themselves. And as the years have gone on, not only has Lego gotten more expensive at retail across every price bracket that they have established, but a lot of the media that you can get is also very cheap to acquire. And I think that's the part that a lot of people may not consider when looking at this big picture. For example, when you're looking at Netflix or Disney Plus or Xbox Game Pass or whatever, even just a standard video game, you can buy $60 worth of entertainment and be entertained for hours and endless hours of your attention at a screen. And obviously screens are not what Lego fans are after, but attention is a currency that all these companies are really after, along with money, obviously. And when you can pay $15 to get access to all of Disney Plus, which is infinite hours of content, then you're finding better ways to spend your money. And then a lot of those families that are obviously with ill intent are having less of a moral compass with stealing stuff too, because Lego is premium, it's not being protected, and I don't know, it just feels too out of reach for a lot of people that might want to actually get and enjoy the Lego sets. And I mean, theft is always a problem, especially in certain areas like where I grew up. Like, yeah, you would seeing open and disheveled boxes at Walmart was like the standard. And what do you do about it? You can either have a little bit more protection toward a specific area. Yeah, you can add the glass case. You can add all of those wires and stuff on them. I believe in doing that for some of the smaller sets. I'm sorry, some of the bigger sets, you put the wires on them. But what also contributes to the theft inadvertently is the self-checkout situation where they've actually tracked, and I believe that there is a higher percentage of theft, either accidentally or intentionally, because of the self-checkout being at Target and Walmart and wherever. So if you're adding a little bit more precautions to where the Lego is placed in the store, maybe it's all the way in the back, maybe it's wherever, you're having more people available at the front, which obviously is more money for these companies to spend and keep an eye on their product. Or Lego has to admit, hey, this is we are a toy, but now we are a premium toy at every level, and there has to be further protections taken. Maybe that means having a tougher cardboard box, because I mean, admittedly, when you go into a Lego box, you can punch the thing and then run, right? So maybe it means like a thicker cardboard that you have on your boxes to deter that little bit of theft by just pushing in the. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how to fix it. But
they changed that new packaging, which I personally like, because it's almost adding your own little sorting tray of sorts, right, with the packaging. But they now have those lips where it's more of a cake style box as opposed to just the pop tabs that we've had.
Yeah.
Right. Which opens up the end, and then you can just reach in and grab it, kind of deal. Like they were intentionally like encouraging people to pop open boxes, right? That's how they were designed. Now they have this more cake box style where you have a lip on it and the top pops off and whatever. It's a lot harder to like take off the top of the box and dig everything out, as opposed.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If somebody wants to get in the box, they're going to get into the box. But like there's an example I want to use.
I feel like my point is I feel like Lego is recognizing that was an issue and that theft is an issue. And I think that they were trying to help retailers out by changing their box style to more anti-theft style, so they didn't have to put giant sensors or put them behind glass. Because I think there is potentially a problem with people being a little hesitant to go ask for help to get the Lego box out, and it deters people from actually buying the set.
I mean, dude, I feel embarrassed when I go to Target or Best Buy. I'm like, yeah, can I get a copy of Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door on the Switch? It's my favorite game of all time. I'm proud of who I am as a Nintendo fan, but like, when the indifferent 34-year-old man who doesn't like his job at Best Buy judges me, I'm like, all right, well, I'd prefer not to have that. If I could just pick it up and walk out, cool. Right. But obviously, they're not going to do that with the video games. They're not going to do that with Lego either. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's the world we live in right now. But man, when you see 4,000 sets being recovered, which the police put a value on it of $2,000, and I was like, "There's no." I was like,
look at that pile. Come on, you're out of your mind.
Who the hell is giving these police this information? They recovered 4,000 sets. And then they said they valued it at $2,000. I laughed out loud. I was like, there's no way, kids.
Maybe at like one of those auctions you go to where they try to bid on it. Like, what's the absolute minimum that they could get from it? But yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. So that's actually the next part to this, right? So the police recover these sets, and they're not going back to the retailers. They don't go back to Target. They don't go back to Barnes and Nobles, right? They're going to police auctions, which is going to be very interesting.
Oh yeah, if you're anywhere in the area, just go ahead. Apparently that was $200,000 with the Lego, not $200,000.
$200,000.
The old man hasn't gotten his sleep. Mr. O'Brien's got his cold brew. I'm carrying today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
that's fine. We got it.
Yeah, it was the reporter that I heard is the one that said 2,000, not 200,000.
Um,
I heard somebody they just, it was a slip of the tongue, but yeah, all the information says 200,000. I was like, there's no. That's why I was like going, there's no way that's $2,000. Like, what is going on?
yeah,
But
right.
that's
Where's the auction so you could book a flight and a cheap motel and just buy all of it, rent a box truck, and drive it back to your house?
I'm telling you, that's the thing. They're gonna, it's gonna go. Some other store is gonna go buy it for for that amount.
Oh yeah,
like that's what's gonna happen, right? Some other third or secondhand retail store is gonna go out and buy this stuff at this police auction for that amount of money, and that's crazy. That's crazy. Like the cycle of where this is gonna go is nutty, because it was stolen from a retail store, sold in a secondhand store, knowing it was stolen. Then it's going to go to a police auction and be bought by another secondhand store and sold again.
true.
What the?
Oh, Mr. Hinkle Draw says it should go to Toys for Tots with all the police department. No. Auction.
That's what they do. That's it. It's what they do. It is.
That would
what
be
it
killer
is.
for Toys for Tots, though. Why don't they just do that?
And that would be like, that's where I would call on Lego to step in and say, please, like,
Yeah.
can they flex their muscles on this a little bit and say, can we do this?
Dude, I would be on the phone immediately. Like with that kind of, can you imagine how much goodwill you'd put out into the local community by doing that and like distributing, like let it sit in a storage unit for 3 months. And then you have like at least 3 towns in the area, minimum, for free Lego for the kids for Christmas. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, okay. So, we've talked before about, secondhand stores and buying that way and whatnot. But, obviously with something like this and potentially like, using things like Facebook Marketplace or other online sources, where is it that, somebody like a Mr. Bricks O'Brien would also potentially look at? And, we talk a lot in the Lego community about websites like Bricklink. And there's a lot of people in the community that use Lego Pick-a-Brick, right? Like, so explain the differences between both of those, because they're both owned by Lego.
Yeah, so Pick-a-Brick is essentially Lego having their own resource that was always kept in-house for selling brick at volume. So that comes right off the assembly line. That is considered new, always, typically has the latest available selection of regular brick that you can get, like 2x2s and whatever, but also you're getting like animals. You can get goats and orca and like all the crazy stuff that like you would not see at a Pick-a-Brick wall at a Lego store. The Pick-a-Brick wall is also what you see at the back of a Lego store. So it's kind of pulling from not the similar inventory, because they are different entities, and how you order Pick-a-Brick is totally different, whatever. Bricklink and also BrickOwl are the two, BrickOwl is a third-party platform. Now Bricklink is under the Lego umbrella, which is essentially eBay, but for Lego, where there are independent people who are taking their old minifigures or sets directly out of the box and selling them on a publicly available marketplace, but they're also taking the sets and divvying out each of the individual parts, and to the point where you can buy individual parts from people, and that's all around the world too. So you have more of a selection from Bricklink, because that is new and retired product from the entire Lego catalog. You can get unbelievably rare minifigures, which Lego would never sell. And it is all cataloged in a way that it's easily accessible for Lego fans to go and dive into. BrickOwl is the truly third-party independent platform where you can purchase Lego off of, maybe a little bit more expensive in my experience, than a Bricklink, but still a valuable resource if you're like, hey, I don't want to support Lego with my third-party purchaser. You want to support some smaller stores, then BrickOwl is a way to do that too. Very similar process of how people list their stuff and make it available for purchase. So Bricklink is a bit more official, lot way bigger. And now also has, as what's shown on the video version of our show, the Bricklink Designer Program sets that are officially sanctioned by Lego, but not products you would find in stores. These are specialty using, I believe, parts currently available, but I don't know if they are just off of what is currently being produced because Lego is pulling the brick from their system, I think. So it has to be using like relevant parts. You're not finding rare retired stuff in here. You're finding the stuff you would normally find, but in a nice package with the Bricklink logo sanctioned by Lego. So that's the nutshell difference
So
here.
outside of Lego, the Lego group, you know, cashing checks from their little little bit that they take from all these sales and everything, what influence does Lego actually have on Bricklink?
So I believe that there isn't any influence on individual sellers listing whatever they want to for whatever price. It's basically like I guess you could call it like a free market situation, right? If somebody lists a part for 5 cents and somebody lists it for 4, maybe more people buy the 4, and that's typical commerce. Blah blah blah. Lego obviously has their own policies they have on Bricklink, so you can't sell anything third party, nothing illegal, blah 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 blah. And then there's certain stipulations if you're opening up a store. If you're buying stuff, I don't think that there's any, there's no upcharge, there's no premium. It is literally like, you're on eBay buying something. And like PayPal has their little tendrils in how eBay operates because I believe PayPal owns eBay. So like you're going to encounter stuff like that, but it's not like when you buy an item off of eBay, they're charging a premium like a PayPal tax if you're not using PayPal. You know what I mean? So like similar kind of a way.
Well, and the nice thing about something like Bricklink, BrickOwl, you can, especially if you are making custom sets, you can put those parts, that part inventory into the system and let it inventory everything out from you and say, okay, I can buy all of these pieces from this store, or I can buy all of these pieces from that store. And so it becomes a part inventory as opposed to just an eBay style place, an online shop, that you can buy this stuff. It's actual an inventory type of system that you can part out those pieces and figure out where you can get the bulk of them from, using your part inventory, which is, again, it's fantastic. It's a little tricky to learn how to use at first. And it's, it is nice to have kind of somebody hold your hand the first couple times you do it, just so you can understand like how you're putting in the inventory sheet or how you're parting things out. None of this is
intuitive.
No,
this is not. This was designed in a way for somebody who is tech savvy to understand, and it's very old bones. So like eBay is very user friendly. This is not user friendly. When I worked in the Lego store, I would almost never recommend Bricklink as a resource because the typical moms and dads that walk in are absolutely not going to buy and go through the process and, it's cheaper if I buy it from New Zealand, so I'm going to call up Lego and just have them deal with it. Don't do this. But for us, it's fine.
There's also another option that's out there that's kind of beyond just this static spreadsheet style type of store, right? And that's Whatnot, where it provides more of a social experience during your purchasing. I have not purchased anything off of Whatnot, but I know you have actually sold stuff off of. So explain what Whatnot is in comparison to something like Bricklink or BrickOwl.
As I said in our pre-show, it is the TikTokification of eBay. So you are playing, I don't want to say fast and loose, but there are things that fly during a Whatnot sale where you can say, all right, I'm going to list up really any collectible item. You can list whatever you want to, but they have certain sections for Lego, trading card games, and whatever. So if I want to list like a Bricks O'Brien minifigure, I can list that for a $3 starting price, and then it just escalates from there. And as the timer continues to go, the window for you to bid on gets smaller. So let's say it goes up to $35. Then you may have only 3 seconds left on the clock to put in your bid before it closes. So the higher the number gets, you have a little bit less of a grace period depending on what your settings are and all that. It is meant to be very, very quick, and they take the payment out of your PayPal account, bam, right away. and it gets shipped out to you in a reasonable time. There are people that have sold, entire storage units and inventories full of product relatively quickly because a lot of people put just music in the background. They don't even show their face. They're just bam, 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 bam. And they just go do a giveaway, keep people there. I'm not exaggerating when I say TikTokification of eBay. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a more engaging way than to do this, or do you think it's for a very certain type of person that likes that thrill, that pressure type of sale? Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's the thrill and the pressure, but also for a certain type of buyer. So if you are going on Bricklink or eBay, you are looking at a catalog of you're kind of window shopping, right? You kind of have to be consciously looking at whatever the seller is listing in real time. What a lot of sellers don't do on Whatnot is they don't necessarily even say what the items are beforehand. I did when I did my sale, but like if you're watching somebody, they'll just say minifigure lot number 3. All right, well, that is useless information. So you have to tune in and watch to see what it is, which is great for the people that are there and want to snag a deal if they already have an established audience. But if you're like window shopping, then yeah, it's totally useless information. So it's for a certain type of buyer.
Interesting. That's very cool. I honestly, especially with my previous experience with auction houses and stuff like that, it actually sounds fun. Like it sounds like a fun. Now it doesn't mean that, I would like to get it because it sounds like it's also a way to quickly spend money that you didn't mean to spend. But,
I mean, I would not spend dude. I look on Whatnot. Nobody lists Lego Mario anything, so I am clear. I'm right in the clear.
Well, the problem is though that they do list Lego Mario somewhat in other places like Rebrickable. So we talked about this a second ago, where you can go to a Bricklink store, you can go to a BrickOwl store, and you can take mocked up instructions and brick inventory, and you can input that into their websites. Where you get that is either you create it yourself, or you can go to sites like Rebrickable, and you can say, okay, I found this amazing set, and I want this. You buy the plans. Then you buy that inventory list. Then you take it over to Bricklink or wherever. You input that inventory list. Grab your inventory. Buy it from all the different sources you need, or a single source if you find one that way. And then you get your digital copy of the instructions. Eventually, your bricks get shipped to you, and hey, you're off to the races. You showed me this yesterday, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, and this is high on your radar now. This Super Mario 64 posable figure with several different alternate build styles for different poses and accessories and things. Folks, this Mario is the size of Bowser, the Lego Bowser set. My God, I'm excited about this, and I'm not as much of a Mario fan as Mr. Bricks O'Brien is.
So it happened to fit into our topics today. That's why we're talking about it. It's not just me shilling Mario. Okay, well, part of it. This is done by Lavish Lump. It has 1,756 parts. You can get it on Rebrickable. For our live audience, I am going to link it in the chat. And you can purchase the instructions for $25. I've already contacted Mevit Bricks, and he gave me a price on what it would work to get this made. So basically, all things considered, this would be $300. And it's the size of Bowser, and it is unbelievably cool. And not to say that I want to sell off my part of my collection immediately to fund it or put up a goal of some kind, but this is unbelievably sick. I love this thing.
It's going to look so good next to your Bowser behind you.
So there's a link there. So this is something that not as many people do. I know Thrawn's Revenge also has a Rebrickable shop where you can purchase instructions. It's basically Lego doesn't necessarily allow this through Bricklink, but to purchase instructions on a marketplace, Rebrickable would be the place to do that. So you can pull from your own inventory. What I actually did with this was the person who made this model was able to. They had the functionality where I could take all the parts and put them on a wanted list on Bricklink. And then I looked up how much it would be, but then I also gave it to Mevit's Bricks. Shout out to Mevit's Bricks, who isn't watching right now, but maybe will be one day. And gave him the parts and said, hey, how much would this cost? Because he does Bricklink and fulfills it and all that. And he's like, this is how much it's going to cost, and can get all the pieces new and arrive at my door. So that'd be very, very cool. So that's one way you can do it too. A website like Bricker Builds also has the custom life-size creations, and they have their own marketplace where they sell instructions and the bricks and all that. So if you're looking to not build your own platform, your own website, your own whatever, to have your instructions be available for purchase to support independent creators, Rebrickable would be your place to do that. Functions really nicely with BrickOwl and with Bricklink. So that's where I saw this, and now I'm very clearly Goo Gaga, because this is the low poly Super Mario 64 model that is the size of Bowser, and making anything like a character at that scale unbelievably tough, unbelievably cool when it's pulled off. And with it being a low resolution version of Mario in that style, which is obviously nostalgia bait for me, holy mackerel. I remember talking with Mr. Hinkle Draws about him pulling off something like this at one day as a mock, and then he obviously got out of Lego. So now that I can like have this and build it and hopefully live and whatever, holy mackerel, please inject this into my bloodstream. I want this immediately. Shift all focus and all priority to this. It's got the wing cap. Mamma mia. I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'm about to go sell a bunch of plasma just so I can afford this thing, because I never knew I needed this in my life until you showed me, and now I need this in my life.
It's so dope. And it's the size of Bowser, dude.
Right.
It's
that's the thing, right? Like it's a big model. It's a nice, good size, big Mario model, and not just a bust. And not something that like it's posable like Bowser is. Like it's got the movement. It's not a frozen bust that's in one kind of air, like stand, right? Like it's or stance. It's posable with alternate builds, so you can kind of customize it to make it what you want, in a way where you can give him the peace sign, you can give him the wings, you can, like, there's things you can do with him. And yeah, I know he needs a moment. And again, what's really nice about this Rebrickable is you can look at the parts. They're going to give you an average based off the current market of what those parts are going to cost, what that inventory is going to cost. And you can add the parts to your Bricklink or BrickOwl wanted list or wish list already and calculate what that price is going to be based off of the current resellers that have the parts. Because as you start going through Rebrickable and the older, instructions out there, you may not realize how old they might actually be. They're going to start using older parts or some stuff that maybe has been discontinued. Maybe that's something is a little bit harder to get. So having that information, being armed with that information, is important to keep an eye on. Don't just go willy-nilly and start buying up, instructions because you think the set looks cool. Do your homework on it. Make sure that you're checking out the actual part list and seeing what's available, what's not available, how much things are going to cost. Is this coming all the way from Denmark or something like that? And your shipping is going to be astronomical and whatnot, just to get a certain tile, a printed tile piece, or, God knows what, that somebody included in it.
That's what's really cool about us having somebody in the community who is a Bricklink person like Mevitz, because he can just, like, he knows the resources to like make that sort of thing happen. And I don't want to pay the shipping from Luxembourg and wherever else to get. That's what I did for like my little Build-A-Bob model. It was literally at least like over $1,000 worth of literally just the brick to make it happen, and it was shipping from all around the globe, and that was during lockdown. So like the cost of it's crazy logistics that go with some of this stuff. So yeah, be aware of that before you make a big purchase.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what happens after you buy your sets, whether that be from Lego, whether that be from buying Rebrickable type mock sets, or buying sets from Bricklink or BrickOwl or whatnot, or whatever. You buy your sets, you get them home, and you build them. One of the extra ways to zhuzh it up, right, is light kits, and you see that especially in the mock building world. And people use them like crazy. And especially it's become kind of the thing to do now with on-brand official Lego builds, where people build the Lego set And because most AFOLs run into this issue, whether it be space or money to buy more Lego sets, sometimes you just have to live with the sets you have for a certain amount of time until you have the money to buy another one or the space you need to display another one. So what can you do with that one Lego set that's just sitting on your shelf? Well, one thing that people are doing these days is using things like light kits to light them up, zhuzh them up, give them that extra wow factor, right? I've only done a few light kits in my day, and the experience was interesting, where it was build the set, then buy the light kit, then take the set back apart in a very specific way, according to their light kit instructions, put the light kit in, and put the set back together again. Okay. Couple problems that I had with that personally was, number one, once I put the set together, it hurts me to take the set back apart. That got me.
It is a unbelievably massive pain in the. I hate it. I hate it.
It prevents me from wanting, it has prevented me from wanting to do light kits. I actually have several light kits in my backlog waiting to be done because the idea of taking these sets apart bothers me, right? Where I want to build another set rather than go back and rebuild the same set. So there's tons of light kitting companies out there. Okay. Tons of light kit companies out there. Recently, Light My Bricks, one of the more prominent brands in the light kit community, recognized some of these issues. Recognized, number one, people are having a problem unbuilding their sets and then doing them again. Number two, the structure and style of light kits are fairly similar across the board, where they lay a certain way across the studs. They kind of, go inside the anti-stud area there. And sometimes that can put stress and not actually attach the best possible way and connect the best possible way in the Lego. A lot of people would call that illegal building techniques and things like that, but it's kind of stressful on the actual connections. And it's kind of a problem. So Light My Brick has now looked at this and said, well, we recognize that, and they developed a brand new system, and hashtag not sponsored. I just thought what they did was very, very cool. So they have reconfigured their light kitting style to more of a ribbon-based style. Very flat, very just extremely non-intrusive, and designed for the individual bricks that they're supposed to go around or go in between, as opposed to a one-size-fits-all type of thing. They also are now supplying two different types of instructions, both in 3D style, that you can utilize on an app or on their website, where you can move things around and really see what's going on. And this is the kicker, is you can now build along with their light kit on the official Lego instructions. So you can take the official Lego instructions, you can take their 3D build along instructions, and as you build, you can add the light kit. So you're not building the set twice. That is a humongous win for the light kit community that loves Lego. And my wallet is crying because of it, because that entices me to want to do more light kits. If I can build sets and add the light kit as I build and know that it's not going to be stressing the connections nearly as much, oh my God. Well done, Light My Bricks. Well done indeed.
Yeah. Being able to get something supplemental for your build and make it as cool and unique as it is awesome. Like, some people don't want to just buy a whole brand new Lego set. They want to be able to add a little bit more life to it. And for as complicated as lights can be and have been, because I built Light My Brick stuff for a sponsored Beyond the Brick video forever ago, it does take a lot of time. So if you're looking to add more value to your collection you're not in a position to spend the same amount of money on new Lego. And more importantly, you don't have the space to have more Lego, like, and especially if you're like a live streamer here. Installing the light kit will take you forever, make it look unbelievably cool, and not take up much more space. So it's kind of a win on all those fronts. I'm curious how much more of a pain in the butt these 2.0 lights would be with your Lego set already being built. I don't know. Like, it seems like just a different lighting system in general, which is more accessible. So hopefully that's what that means too. It's not that much more, but I would have to wait until I actually have a Lego set I want to purchase, but haven't purchased yet, and also build it alongside the light kit. I'm also curious how that bodes for people who get, I'm sorry, for them, because they don't have access to the Lego sets early, as far as I know. So they have to have the set, probably predetermine where the lights are going to go, actually make the instructions. So you could be waiting like a month or 2 or 3 or 4 to get your light kit for the thing you want to build alongside with. So if you have a backlog, that's fine. If you're wanting the new hotness immediately, then you might be in a little bit of a trouble. So
sure. There's going to be a caveat there because of the time that it's going to take them to get it. Now, I'm assuming, because again, lighting and Lego, they haven't officially sanctioned it, because the style that's, a tale as old as time here is, their connection is their connection, and they don't want anything impeding that connection. Like, it's supposed to, that connection, that trademarked connection, is meant to be that way, unimpeded, and your a light kit is just going to do that regardless. So they're not, I don't think they're getting sets early or anything like that to do this, which means, they said out of the gate that this was a daunting task to take on because of that, because they have to come up with sets or come up with instructions immediately. The retrofit style, that's always going to be there. And that was, that's been the same, so you still have that option. But let's say you're buying a set, you're kind of one of these A-fulls that buys a set, it kind of goes in your backlog for a few months. Like, you're going to have that wait time anyway, right? And then if you can go and you can get retro, fit kits from them, from anybody from that matter, and still do it that way. But even their retrofit style currently is still better than what I've seen as far as the actual construction of it, because first of all, the style's different now with the ribbon style, but they were also using magnets with some of their other sets, which means you don't have, like, a lot of these, especially when it comes to Star Wars stuff, when you have big ships and things that components come apart where you can see.
Yep.
Think of your modulars where you have a section that you want to take off. Well, if you start adding wires and things that are all connected to each other, well, that was a lot harder. So they solved that by adding magnets and a magnet connection that then connected the circuit there and now lit everything up. So you can actually take your modulars apart. It's already better. It was already better because of that. And now we're seeing the next evolution with these new cables and the build along style. It's, like I said, it's pushing me more in a light kit direction, as opposed to buying more and more sets, where I am starting to look around the house going, where the heck am I going to put this? Where the heck am I going to put that? I'm at the point now where do I just zhuzh up what I've got and, build the sets in my backlog, zhuzh up with, like,
gotta do it. It look really, listen, you have your collection available to look at all times when you're on camera. How cool would that Avengers Tower look if it had some lights in it, made your background pop? You know what I mean?
Oh, baby.
That's it.
Oh, baby. Whew. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, another full show once again this week. But as we wrap up here, we've got some big stuff coming down the pike. We got, for me, July 31st, I'm going to be participating on Twitch in Camp Chaos, which is a fantastic event kind of spearheaded by Art and Jess Brenda over there, which gathers up a bunch of creatives in the makers and crafting community to participate in a virtual camp for kids of all ages. And I'm going to be doing some fun Lego builds there. I'm going to be showing everybody how to build an infinity cube with all these little tiny sets that really, or tiny pieces that would really just cost you about $5 if you used pick a brick as an example to get them. So we're going to be going through how to build these infinity cubes for my time during Camp Chaos. But you've also got stuff cooking in the background as well. One of those mini balls in the air is eventually going to come around here. What do you got cooking, Mr. Bricks O'Brien?
The thing that I'm working on in the Lego realm and alongside the community is the Stand Up to Cancer charity event we're doing August 8th through the 18th, which both Mr. Rutledge and I will be participating in with our campaigns alongside over 30 other members of the community, and that list continues to grow. Just announced with the help of Mr. Mevit Bricks that we are making these kits available. This is our logo as designed by Mr. Jang Bricks. It is the Stand Up to Cancer arrows with a heart in the middle with a nice little gradient to it. So we'll be building these across a bunch of our streams and having them available. But that's going to be happening from, like I said, August 8th through the 18th. So if you want to get yours, if you're a content creator, they are available in the Discord server. You can take a look at that. But otherwise, you can look forward to all of the creators that are going to be a part of the event. We're actually being highlighted by Stand Up to Cancer, and a bunch of us have videos, and we'll be in the little sizzle reel. So it'll be some good stuff coming in just a couple weeks, man. And
I appreciate you and all the other ones that are, getting together to do this stuff for Stand Up to Cancer. That's going to be amazing. One of my favorite times of the year is this charity event that you spearhead and help organize. So appreciate you and appreciate all of our viewers here on YouTube. Thank you guys again for showing up every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, hitting those subscribe buttons, hitting those like buttons, leaving those comments. And don't forget to check us out on all the podcast style formats, such as Apple Podcasts, such as Spotify. You can find the audio versions of us there. We would also love those subscribers over there. And, again, reviews, comments, do all the things. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, you can find him all over the internet at Bricks O'Brien. You can find me all over the internet at Zach M. Rutledge. Thank you, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, for another fantastic show. And everybody else, we will see you guys next Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Bye.